Further, in this next scene that happens right after the scene we just watched of looking at the Native American artifacts in the window of the airport, is the development of Raymond and Frank's relationship. Raymond, trying to ask the big questions. What about this armed group, the Aboriginal Resistance Movement? Who identified the DB, the dead body? And then Coutelle turning around and making this point to him about how he is not there to ask big questions and investigate anything other than the immediacy of the homicide itself.
The Aboriginal rights movement seems to be pretty active.
Look, the boy, turn your head to the right for a second. In the right light, with your head turned like that, you kind of remind me of Sal Mineo in Arrows on the Prairie. Did you ever see that one? Other than that, your coming here is like pissing in the wind. So drop the questions, stick to the assignment, okay? Would you like to smoke?
I don't smoke.
Good. That's good. Those things will kill you.
Okay, so in that scene, what I think is we get the kind of coupling of the static, the dead Native American artifact exhibit behind the glass pane in the airport hallway, and then we move to this relationship between Coutelle and Raymond, where Raymond's asking bigger questions. Coutelle is telling him, hey, you're not here to ask big questions. In other words, he deflects him. He doesn't want him investigating anything larger than the simple homicide that's in front of him, that in fact Coutelle is staging as a homicide by the armed people, because he already knows this narrative exists about the armed resistance and the militancy that's going on. And Coutelle is the person who's cultivating the relationship with the government Indians, who essentially are selling off native land to the government. That small little thin piece of Indian reservation is kind of being slowly chipped away and whittled away by the government's continuing incursions into the space itself. So at that point, I think the importance is we've got a kind of erasure of the archive, its static placement on display in a window for tourists, where one learns nothing substantial about Native American people in the area. And then 3, the effort to wrestle Raymond in right from the beginning to kind of hog tie him, in order to keep him from asking bigger questions and keeping his eye on the assignment itself. So let's stop there and then we'll go to our next scene.